Amy Hillman and Mike Holmyard. Amy, do you want to just say a quick hello so you pop up on people's screens for a few moments, and then I'll finish up with finish what I was going to my introductory bit.
Yeah, thanks, Fran. So I'm Amy Hillman. I will have met some of you, I think, but I'm one of the INWO complaints reviewers, and I'm also working with Mike on some engagement work this year with boards, and that includes Speak Up Week.
And Mike, if you want to say hello too, that would be handy.
Hi everyone, I'm Mike Holmyard, and I'm a complaint reviewer in the INWO team, and as Amy says, we're working together this year on engagement projects.
Thanks very much. So just to review how this is going to work today, we've got a presentation lined up for you, and we will be recording that part of the webinar so that we can put it on our website. So because I know a lot of people are on annual leave at the moment, if anyone's not able to come to the meeting, they can catch up on it afterwards. We also have plenty of time for questions afterwards and a bit of discussion about ideas and so on for Speak Up Week. So we will stop recording at the discussion point so that you can share ideas with a bit more confidence that you'll be doing that. You won't be visible on our website after that. Feel free to ask any questions you've got, put them in the chat, and we'll try and pick them up as we go along. And certainly at the end, we'll be able to go. Sorry, I think I was just muted there. Did you so I was just saying that we've scheduled an hour for the meeting. Don't know what you've missed out on. We've scheduled an hour for meeting. If there's anything that we haven't had a chance you haven't had a chance to tell us or ask us, feel free to use our contact details that are available at the end to pick up on any points that we've missed out on. I hope you're all okay with the recording of this session. It's really so that we can make sure that it's available for other people in future. Okay, thanks very much for that. And I'll pass over to Amy, who will be following on from me. I think it's Amy, or is it Mike?
It's me, Fran. Okay, so to start with, I'm just going to give you a bit of background behind Speak Up Week. Since the start of INWO, the focus for all of us has really been on implementation and getting that right. So we've not really had a chance to reflect on how far we've all come and to celebrate progress. But we're also aware from some of our engagement and the inquiries that we get that some people still aren't aware of the standards. So there's still some work to do in building confidence in the whistleblowing process and getting people used to using it. So we're really keen to get the message out there about the value of speaking up. And if you follow our e-bulletin, you'll know that this year we've been looking for new ways to engage. So that's where Amy and I come in our roles. As part of this process, we spoke to the National Guardian's office in England, and they told us about their Speak Up month and how successful that's been for them in raising awareness. So they told us that it actually has a visible impact on the numbers of people raising concerns in the following months. So in some cases, up to 30% more inquiries in the quarter after Speak Up month. So naturally, we'd be keen to try something like that in Scotland. But bearing in mind people's capacity and resources, we've opted for a week instead. And since we've talked about it in our e-bulletin, we've already had some contact from boards and from forums. We've been thinking of doing something similar and are really keen to take part. So that's been really encouraging. So question there is, what is Speak Up Week? Above all, it's a celebration of speaking up. That speaking up is a good thing, which leads to positive change. And it's also a chance for boards to celebrate how far they've come in their whistleblowing journey and what they've learned on the way. It's a chance to raise awareness of speaking up and the standards outside of the confines of your usual day-to-day job. So actually having an official event gives you a chance to go and knock on the doors of senior management and say, so what are we doing to celebrate Speak Up Week? It also helps people in whistleblowing roles to become better known, so staff know who they can approach. It's also a recognition that it's been a while since the standards launched. Some people may have done their training over a year ago, so it's a good chance to refresh the message and let people hear it again. And last but not least, it's a great opportunity for boards to show that they're engaging with staff about the standards simply by taking part. So remember that engagement with staff is something you can report on in your quarterly and annual reports. So this year, we're planning Whistleblowing Week to run from the 3rd to the 7th of October. We want this week to be a great success. We want to help boards run successful Speak Up Weeks. And to that end, we're going to be providing some resources, some events, and some digital content to share with you throughout the week. But the rest will be up to you. You can choose to celebrate Speak Up Week in a way that suits your board and your people. And with that, I'm going to hand over to Amy.
Thanks, Mike. So I'm going to start, before I start speaking, by attempting to play you a video. We did test this and it worked last week, so I hope, fingers crossed, it will work now. If it's very short, so if for any reason you can't see it or hear it, we'll circulate a link to that after the session so that you can watch it. But yeah, it's only a minute or so. So let's see if this works. Usually takes a few clicks to get it going. So there we go. That was yeah, very short. It's just a summary really of the celebrations that took place in England for Speak Up Month last year, and I just think it's a really nice demonstration of the kinds of things that you can do, get some ideas happening and show how it can be embraced as an event and how it's working in England. So I hope that was helpful. So just moving on. I just want to talk about getting involved, and then I'll talk a bit about some of the resources that Mike mentioned as well. So I think the main message that we want to get across is that anyone can get involved in Speak Up Week, and the more the organisation can put into the event at all levels, then the more you can get from it. So there's a clear role within the standards for whistleblowing champions and confidential contacts to raise awareness about the standards. And I think for confidential contact, that's about raising awareness of your own role as well as the standards and the whistleblowing process in general. This event is designed to support you to do that. So we would suggest as a starting point that it would be best for confidential contacts and whistleblowing champions to probably work together and coordinate Speak Up Week within the board if that's possible. But we'd really encourage you to think more widely about other people in the organisation that can help, might be interested in getting involved, and also have resources that can help you too. So is there a whistleblowing group, a whistleblowing lead, a set of whistleblowing advocates? I know that some boards have that. If you can reach out early to find people who might be interested and get the ball rolling on ideas, that's the best place to start. And if you're here at this webinar as one of those interested people rather than a confidential contact or whistleblowing champion, then make sure you reach out to those with those roles in your board and start those discussions. But beyond that, we'd really encourage you to think about what other people in the organisation can do to help. So what about comms colleagues? Can they help you with publicity, designing materials, internal newsletters? Can they get you access to something on the intranet, and can they help you make use of the resources that we're going to be providing as well, and I'll talk about that in a moment. Senior leadership team. We know from the National Guardian's office that Speak Up events will be more successful if you have support and buy-in from senior management. So can you contact them early and see if you can get involved, be it a message from the chief executive, an event that they host or attend. Might they be willing to write a blog or record a video, or even be interviewed by a whistleblowing champion or a confidential contact? It could be anything that they might be willing to participate in. And then the last one is networks. So beyond your board, there are networks for whistleblowing champions, confidential contacts, and practitioners already that exist. So if you're not a member of one of those groups and you'd like to be, let us know and we'll put you in contact. And if you are a member, then use those networks to share ideas, hear about plans that other boards are making, and don't be afraid to share and steal good ideas from others. Move on slide. Okay. So we've got a few resources already that we can help, we hope will help you plan and communicate about Speak Up Week locally. So we've put a new page on our website where we're going to collect together the resources that we're making available. You'll be able to download them from there. So I've put on this slide sorry, I'm just going to let someone in. The website address, but we'll share it after this this event so that you don't have to scribble it down now. And on the page at the moment there is I think a logo, so you can see that pictured on the right hand of this slide. And there should be as well a tips for organising Speak Up Week document, which we've pictured here. But we'll be adding more to that, like poster templates as well. So keep checking it. So in terms of the tips, I'll just take you through a few of those now. In addition to the things I just shared about getting involved, some of the tips are things like make use of that logo and other resources. Can you put it on posters, incorporate it into your email footer during the week? Could it be put into a Teams background? Could you tweet it? Anything, it's there to be used, so please use it. Be visible. Speak Up Week it's an opportunity for confidential contacts and for anyone else really to engage with staff, start conversations, introduce yourselves. So try and make sure that you set aside some time during the week to meet with colleagues and have those conversations. Get creative was the next one. I'm going to go through a list of different ideas, but these are all things that have happened previously in Speak Up Month in England. So it could be a walk around, a listening event with a senior team if they were willing to run one, a series of blogs, podcast, a word search, a coffee morning, pledges from staff like you saw in the video there, a letter or a message from senior leadership, drop-in sessions, presentations at meetings. The options are really varied and you can be as creative as you like. And like I said before, don't be afraid to take inspiration from others. Sharing stories of success is something that we've heard can be really powerful. We know that the standards are still relatively new, so it might be that you haven't had huge numbers of cases or contacts yet. But if you have, is there anything from those that you can share, anonymized, of course? Are there any stories of success where speaking up has made a difference that you could use to share that message? The next one is be realistic, and I think the message in that is don't try to do more than you can during the week. It's a week long, but would it be better to do little things throughout that week, or focus all of your energy on one big event or something in between? So it's a time to celebrate, it's a time to raise awareness, but in whatever way suits your workplace best. And then the last two I want to talk about are really kind of a bit more about us, but one is get social. So INWO during the week we'll be using Twitter and LinkedIn to promote resources and share stories. And if you are on social media, then please feel free to get involved by sharing content that you see, posting about your own Speak Up Week events. And we've put more details in this guide about hashtag and our social media details that can be used as well. And then the last one is please share your celebrations with us. We'd be really keen to hear what you've got planned, and then during the week if you have any pictures of what's been going on. I think that video is a really nice example of how it's just lovely to see all of those things kind of collated together. So we'd love to see what everyone's doing to celebrate. And if you're willing and able to share those with us, then you can do so on our email address, which again, we'll share afterwards. So that's a little plea from us. And I will move over to Mike again to talk about some of the plans that we have for Speak Up Week.
Great, thanks, Amy. So we've been working on our own INWO plans for Speak Up Week, and we've come up with a draft plan of the things that we want to do. What we're thinking of is we'll be providing content every day through our website and through social media. And what we're hoping for is off the back of that, you'll be planning your own events as well that are complementary. But as Amy's just said, remember to be realistic, do what's good for your people and your organization. You don't have to follow our event slavishly. So let's start with Monday. So to get us off on the right footing, we're hoping to have an online webinar hosted by the INWO to talk about the benefits of speaking up. So we're hoping to get a few great speakers along who can share their experiences with us and get the week off to a good start there. Some complementary things that you could be thinking about doing that day might be to have a team huddle to talk about when speaking up has made a difference to the team, or maybe you could look at a case study together to think about when to speak up. Or perhaps your CEO could share a message through a blog or your intranet news pages about the benefits of speaking up. Tuesday and Wednesday, we're focusing on some of the roles. So Tuesday's confidential contact. Wednesday, dare we say, is Whistleblowing Champion Wednesday. So we want to focus on how they're involved in the process of speaking up. So this is something that maybe would work with you on. We'd be keen to share your stories and impressions. So if you're confidential contact or a whistleblowing champion, we'd like to share what it's been like for you being a confidential contact or whistleblowing champion. So through articles or even a short video interview, for example. So if you're interested in that, please get in touch with us. So in terms of what you could be doing as complementary activities, your confidential contacts and whistleblowing champions could potentially be more visible those days, so people have a chance to talk to you. So, putting something together, perhaps like a video for your intranet site, again, of what you do and talking about it, or even having a drop-in coffee morning or a bring your own lunch and learn session. So something that will get people to come along and talk to you. Thursday, we want to focus on the networks. So Thursday is really a day for people working in whistleblowing and boards, and it's about sharing the benefits of being part of a network, especially if you've not already joined one. And again, we'd be pleased to hear from any of the networks that are represented. If you'd like to share your thoughts with us on how your network has benefited you, for example, that'd be great. And then again, locally, as a complementary activity, you might decide to meet with other whistleblowing colleagues. So confidential contacts meet with the INWO liaison officers or the concern coordinators to talk about common issues, especially if that's not something that you're not already doing. That would be a great day to do that. And then finally, Friday, we have our celebration day. So this is celebrating everything that's been good about Speak Up Week. What have you learned? What did you get up to? Share it with us, please, and we'll put it through our social media channels. And if we get some video clips and things like that, hopefully we can try and put together something like the NGO did as well with their video last year. So that's the draft outline. We're happy to take your feedback on that. Any ideas you want to share in the discussion we'll have shortly. So with that, I'll hand you back to Fran.
Thanks, Mike. So I hope that gives you a flavour of the ideas that we've been having and that we've gathered from our English colleagues who've been doing this for a few years now. It would be really good to hear from you, to get some feedback on what those ideas sound like to you, and to see if you've had any of your own thoughts about what you were planning to do with Speak Up Week. I know some of you are maybe more familiar with the idea of it than others, but if you've got any comments at this stage, we'd be very keen to hear, get some discussion going as to what ideas we can come up with within the group that we've got just now.